Hi, Richie.
Hi, Sin.
Tell us what we're doing here today.
Well, we've been here for a while, recording. This was an idea that you had. No, I'll explain it. This is what happened while we were off mic.
Richard and I are just recording a self-help episode. Yeah, we talk about self-help. I don't know why, I just decided.
So Sin has found a list of self-help topics that she wants us to record about. And she's putting them on Patreon except this one, which she wants to put on YouTube for some reason.
It's a system, Richie. Did you not look at the chart?
I did look at the chart, it's just a list of topics in a grid.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand how the system works.
Okay, each patron tier will eventually have 5 self-help topics. We're going backwards from the Matryoshka tier, and then we'll do the Horsefish tier, and then the Guiding Moonlight tier, and then the Rusalka tier, then the Yamamba tier, and then the Berserker tier. So we just finished the Matryoshka tier. We recorded 5 episodes because each tier is gonna get 5 episodes, but there's a bonus 6th episode. And the 6th episode is what's coming to YouTube. Yay!
This is like one of those really complicated pre-order diagrams.
Elaborate.
You know, where it's like if you pre-order this thing, you get these bonuses, but not these ones. But then if you pre-order and then also get this, you get the definitive edition, which is different from the collector's edition, which is different from the ultimate edition. Only here it's just all shit. So, I mean, to be fair, this costs less than getting like a resin statue of Yorm. So, frankly, it's probably less embarrassing. All right, let's go.
What is today's topic, Richie?
Fittingly, today's topic is ways to reduce everyday stress, featuring Sin. People will immediately begin to see the flaw in this.
Okay,
A good way to reduce everyday stress is not to sit here for hours recording with someone who screams, "I'll fucking kill you!"
Well, I think a good way to reduce stress is,
Okay, but here's the thing. I feel like your method of reducing stress is that you just pass the stress on to someone else.
How so?
Like, if you're stressed out, you just sort of, like, clap loudly, shout, scream, and then the stress is transferred from you to the other person. So you haven't really reduced stress, you've just, like, moved it somewhere else.
You know how there's this thing where energy doesn't disappear, it just gets transferred?
Yeah, but there's also entropy.
I don't know what that is.
Because eventually all the, everything will basically even out. There'll be, like, no more forces.
When?
The end of the universe.
Okay, I see how it is. So what I was trying to do is make a parallel, how stress doesn't disappear, it just gets transferred around. But what you're saying is that only at the end of the universe will there be no more stress?
If you're in a closed system, inevitably entropy increases within the system. So eventually, like, energy will not disappear, but there will be, like, no movement left. Everything will have just evened out.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you have heat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heat passes from hotter things to colder things, basically.
Yeah.
But eventually, over, like, billions and billions and billions of years, everything will essentially, like, everything will have evened out.
So if we apply that to stress, so like stress passes on from me to you, for example, but in billions of years, it will all even out, so we don't even gotta worry about it.
Yes, long after we're dead,
Yeah.
when we are but dust, we'll finally not be able to worry about something that happened at work that made you annoyed.
Well, you know what? Sometimes when something's happening and I'm just like really, really stressed about it, what I tell myself is like, listen, Sin, in 5,000 years, this will not matter. And it makes me feel a little better.
Okay, so this is how you want to deal with stress.
Yeah.
You're like at one with the void.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually we'll all be nothing. There will be nothing but chaos and disharmony.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing we've ever said or done will matter. So there's no point in being stressed. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
That's one way of dealing with it, yeah.
Like, think about things that stressed you like 5, 10, 20, 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Do they matter now?
Well, kind of.
Why are you putting a dent in my theory, Richie?
No, but like, I was really stressed out during the end of my PhD.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not over, because like, if I hadn't been like, that matters a lot.
Yeah, but that's because 5,000 years didn't pass yet.
Well, what about people who were doing things 5,000 years ago that are still relevant today? Like, what about, like, the ancient Greeks?
Does their stress still live within us?
So you view history as just, like, generation after generation passing on things to be stressed about.
Okay, so you know what? The problem is 5,000 years is just not enough of a time frame. You gotta think like 5 million years from now.
Okay.
So what we're doing now will like not matter at all in 5 million years. And 5 million years is going to be here pretty fast. You know? Think about your lifetime. Like 30 something years, they pass this fast. Like 5 million years gonna pass as fast, so.
Yeah, life goes quickly except for this podcast, which I keep thinking, clearly we must be in the second or third hour by now, and I look down and it's 20 minutes, and I'm like, Christ. I'm glad I'm not a patron of this podcast and don't have to listen to this.
Well, this is going on YouTube, so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So, Richie, how do you reduce everyday stress?
I don't.
Let's look at Google. Reducing everyday stress. 10 ways to reduce and overcome everyday stress. Oh, thank you, lifelineconnections.org. So, first, I'll just read the headers. So, take care of yourself first.
No.
Okay. Next one is maintain a healthy support system.
Well, there's you.
There we go. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And there's the people I sometimes summon in Bloodborne.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good. And for everyone out there, there is the snack covenant. Because we are one. Another one is simplify. What do they mean by simplify? Let's see.
Ironically, they should have simplified this answer. Do they mean it in a Marie Kondo sense?
Oh yeah. You know what reduces stress? Watching Marie Kondo. Oh, I watched that. I swear to God, I finished all the episodes with my boyfriend, and then I Marie Kondoed my apartment. I threw out a lot of things. Another thing that actually reduces stress for me is to get rid of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
the more things I get rid of, I feel like the more stress I throw out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And because people weren't here earlier, we weren't recording. This comes shortly after you bought a replica Power Fist from Fallout.
Okay. Listen. Fallout is a whole different category. Do you not know me? Do you not understand what Fallout is to me? Why do you put Fallout stuff in the same chart as regular life things, Richie?
My apologies.
No, explain yourself. Why did you think? Why did go?
Well, it's true that, like, your relationship with your boyfriend is because you had a Fallout quote in your profile on a website.
It's true. It's true.
And you only know about Bloodborne because of your boyfriend.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, everything that has happened to you and to me in the last 18 months is directly the result of the actions of one Todd Howard.
God, Howard. Thank you, Richie, for recognizing your mistakes.
Recognizing how much of my life I owe to Todd Howard. Despite having played, like, one Todd Howard game.
What did you play? Skyrim?
I played Fallout 3. Oh, I played Skyrim up until the tutorial ended, and then I was like, it's too big.
Hmm.
And then I never played the rest of it.
Skyrim is pretty good. It's like Fallout, but without the laser guns.
I think you have it slightly backwards.
No. I think you have it slightly backwards, sir.
Because the big complaint about the Bethesda Fallout games is that they were just Bethesda open world games with, like, a Fallout skin. Every Bethesda open world game for me is the same story, which is that I start playing it and I've been conditioned by decades of playing Zelda to think that literally everything in the world is in some way significant. So I spend hours and hours looking under every single rock and in every single cave thinking there must be something good here, and never make any progress.
But there is something good there. You get to experience the world to its fullest potential.
Well, the problem is after a while you realize it's the same cave and the same power station over and over again.
But you get the fulfillment of knowing that you visited everything.
I think I told you about, like, the Fallout 3 power station experience I had.
I don't remember. Tell me again.
Because in Fallout 2, there's a very involved quest where there's, like, 3 towns and a power station. And they're all trying to control the power station. And you have to, like, broker a deal between, like, the 3 towns and the people who live with the power station to see, like, can it provide power to all the towns? There's some people that say it should just power one town. There's people who are like, oh, we can, like, overload it and blow it up, and then no one will have any power, and it's, like, a very involved part of the game.
Okay.
So in Fallout 3, I was wandering around the wasteland and came upon a power station. And I thought, they're going to do that again. This is interesting.
Yeah.
So I marked it on the map, and I, like, combed the power station from top to bottom, killing all the raiders, grabbing all the stuff I could find. Got to the end, there didn't seem to be anything terribly significant there. So I thought, okay, I'll just mark this and I'll come back to it later on when it's significant. Kept walking, and then a couple of hours later, there was another power station that was exactly the same design, with the same enemies in it, and I thought, have I gone round in circles? No. No. Okay. Maybe this is significant in some other way. I cleaned that out. Walked another couple of hours. Oh, it's another and then I realized, power station just means industrial skinned building with raiders in it.
Yeah, Richie, sometimes a power station is just a power station.
But it's not a power station, it doesn't produce anything. And I'm like, I should probably just ignore all of these. That was when I realized I was not going to get as into Fallout 3 as I was into 2.
But you see, maybe that's why I like Fallout so much, because not everything is significant. Sometimes you just walk around, you find some buildings,
Yeah.
you go in the buildings, you shoot some people, you pick up some trash, just walk around, find some more. But it's like chill, you know? I feel it's very like relaxing. Like I don't
But do
have
you
to.
feel like
Mhm.
the idea of a post-nuclear Holocaust wasteland and it's chill are terribly compatible in your head?
Yeah, I think that's why I like the
Yeah.
game so much, because it's like maybe it's because that's an interesting question.
Because, like, in the original, like, Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, the wasteland's incredibly hostile. And you can just, like, get killed as soon as you leave the village.
So Richie,
Yeah.
would you say Fallout 1 and 2 are very stressful?
I see where this is going.
So maybe to reduce everyday stress, people should play Fallout 3.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
In like Fallout 2, when you leave the village at the start, if you go like even slightly further south than it expects you to, you'll just run into guys in power armor who plasma you to death instantly.
Uh-huh.
And there's like an some caves you can go to where like if you just touch the ground, there's just a chance you'll get irradiated and die.
That sounds awfully stressful.
Yes, but to be fair, it is a post-nuclear Holocaust wasteland. You'd expect it to be somewhat stressful.
Hmm.
Do you find that the Souls games stressful?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh my god. So
Yeah.
like okay,
Yeah.
I find Bloodborne less stressful once you level up every stat to 50.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, it's chill. But before that, yeah, it's very, very stressful. I especially get stressed when I get invaded in either one of the Souls games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Dark Souls came out, because when it came out, it was like, oh, fantasy RPG with knights in it, and it's reasonably non-linear. The closest, like, analog people had to that at the time was Skyrim. I remember there being a ton of memes that were like, here's how I felt after Skyrim, and here's how I felt after Dark Souls fucked me. And it's like... people were going and expecting, like, because in Skyrim, like, you can pretty much just be invincible and be great at everything. Whereas in Dark Souls, like,
Yeah.
if you just walk slightly, if you walk into the graveyard at the start, you'll just die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found like Dark Souls was stressful. The stress was finding the next bonfire. Because there was a sense that, like, oh, I'll lose all the things I have if I can't get to the bonfire in time. That was the stress to me.
I like that part.
Yeah.
I actually really that's what kept me going a lot of the times. There's like, okay, just gotta find the nearest bonfire and it's gonna be okay. But it wasn't necessarily so much a stressful way.
Yeah.
As in I have a goal and I have to get to it. And every time, like in Dark Souls 3, every time I would get to a bonfire, I'd be like so happy and I'd be like, oh my god, I found it.
Yeah.
But then it made me feel like maybe they had a little too many bonfires.
Do you feel like you were happy when you found the bonfire and that was like stress relief?
Yeah, I think so.
So Dark Souls is like it's stress followed by stress relief, whereas Fallout is like constant stress relief, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like chill, constant chill, yeah.
Do you play any like farming games that reduce stress?
No. No, I don't.
I played Stardew Valley and managed to make it stressful.
How?
Because I was trying to get like the most optimized farm possible. So I became obsessed with like what's the perfect route I can take to get these crops at this like point. like, oh shit, I don't have like the right number of iron bars to build this thing, and like the time is constantly ticking down.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Why is the time ticking down?
because it's like you start the day at the beginning of the day, and then you have a limited time to do everything.
Oh my god, that's stressful. I hate stuff with a limit. No.
Yeah, no, and I was like, oh shit, I have to make it back to the fishing shop before it shuts. Shit! Oh, so stressful. Or like, oh no, the general store's closed, I can't buy seed.
Oh no. I'm feeling stressed
There's
just
a lot
listening to
of
this.
stress in Stardew Valley.
I can see that.
Much more than Bloodborne.
Definitely. Ugh. Ugh.
SimCity's not stressful. Because that just goes on infinitely, there's no time limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
It's only stressful if like a fire breaks out. And you're like, oh, I didn't build any fire departments because
Oh no. Oh damn.
Yeah. What other games stress you out?
What other games? What?
What other games stress you out?
Let's see. Well, like scary games stress me out.
Yeah, Kuon, you were extremely stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like perpetual stress. I
Yeah.
don't like it. Yeah, it's. Ugh.
You were very stressed and
Yeah,
you
like-
kept using the bell, like over and over again.
Yeah, I think that was the stress relief bell, you know?
The most stressful game moment for me recently was actually in Kingdom Hearts. Because
Sorry, say that again, you cut out.
the most stressful gaming moment I've had recently was in Kingdom Hearts.
When?
There's an enemy that is like a little mushroom. And what happens is, if you hit it, it like goes into the air slightly and then lands again and then it disappears. But if you hit it again as it's falling, it'll bounce back up again. And every time you hit it back up again, you get one extra like experience point. And it's set up so that every hit you do, no matter what it is, does 1 damage. And it has exactly 100 hit points. So the way that you win is you hit it like perfectly back up in the air 100 times in a row. And they all
That's pretty stressful.
It is, because you're watching it count up, and like once it got to like 70, and then I lost my rhythm and I had to start all over again.
Oh no.
And then like another time I got it to 85 and then like lost it. I finally got it to 100 in the very, very end.
Oh, okay.
The other really stressful thing in Kingdom Hearts is there was one of the gummy ship missions.
Mm-hmm.
You had to shoot down. There were 57 enemies, and you had to shoot down at least 55 of them. But you could only use this gun that was a really slow-firing cannon. And at one point, they would appear to the sides of you. So you could only shoot one column or the other, and I ended up building a ship with guns facing sideways just to get around that part. And that took me a while. There was a very, very stressful one that was like you had to shoot down like all the obstacles on the course but not hit any of the ships. So you were like having to shoot all the little things floating around, but if any bullet missed and hit one of the enemy ships, you lost the mission.
Okay.
And it was incredibly long.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, so that was very stressful.
So when you're stressed like that, how do you reduce your stress?
I don't. You just obsess until you beat the mission. And until you've beaten it, you just lie there awake at night staring at the ceiling thinking about gummy ships.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Gorsh. Deleting your Reddit account is a good way to reduce stress.
Oh, yeah? Tell us about it.
Well, one day I realized I hated being on Reddit and deleted my account. And, it was like an enormous weight was lifted from my shoulders.
Well, that's good. That's good advice. So everyone, go delete your Reddit accounts.
Only if it's stressing you out. If you're part of, like I don't know, like a every day we post a picture of a kitten Reddit, like, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
But if you're part of, a Reddit dedicated to discussing a famously incomprehensible video game, and you don't like that every time you sign in, it's like, 10 alerts all, well, actually... Maybe you want to delete it.
Yeah, so in the end, we did get some great advice out of you, Richie.
How long was that? 30 minutes, okay.
Yeah, I'll cut it down to 15.
I sincerely hope so. You can download like a looping MP3 of like waves crashing or rain or something, and just leave that playing while you're in bed. That can be comforting.
I do that.
I did that, and I did a terrible thing where like I downloaded a loop, but it was like a 5-second loop.
Oh no.
So every 5 seconds it paused and then started again, so it was worse. Because it was like this kind of staccato.
That sounds like something out of the garage if you do that.
Yeah.
Well, these podcasts can be relaxing because it's like...
To who?
Oh my god. To you, Richie, it's relaxing, okay?
For me, I'm on the spot and you're yelling at me, and to the people listening, it's just like...
I usually don't yell at you until you test me.
Till I test you.
And this is like, it's not that I'm yelling at you, it's just that I'm expressing my opinion. As a matter of fact, it's you stress me.
That's true.
Oh, how do you like that, Richie? Maybe we should make like a resolution to try and reduce our stress from now on. What are you going to do to reduce your stress, Richie?
Go on Reddit less.
That's a good idea. If it stresses you, go on Reddit less. I think I'm going to try to do some exercise from time to time. And everybody listening should think about a thing you can do to reduce your stress. And try to do it. Right?
Who do you think is still listening to this?
Okay, Bob is probably still listening. Brian might still be listening. Maybe Mary. Agent Funk is probably still listening. I think Penguin might be listening. Maybe Michaela, maybe Gina.
Yeah.
But they're like busy people.
That's
you know?
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the people from No Cartridge are still listening but reconsidering whether they want us on?
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like, when you said you're cutting this down to 15 minutes, it better be 15 minutes.
Ooh, look at Richie being assertive. Okay, Richie, does being assertive reduce your stress?
No, it makes me worried, because, like, this is a stress reaction.
So I think Marty might still be listening. Mike might still be listening.
Yeah.
Eden. Oh, I guarantee you Eden 100% is still listening.
Yeah.
Vasil might be listening. Gordon might still be listening.
I regret asking this question.
Zenalalia might still be listening.
Yeah.
Astral might still be listening.
Well, perhaps if like someone is listening to this in their car and they're in a traffic jam and they can't like reach down to press stop.
Yeah. Ethan, I have a feeling Ethan is also listening.
Right.
Big Boss may or may not be listening. He's been busy lately, I think.
What, David Hayter or someone else?
That's what,
Okay.
I don't know. Well, maybe, you know what? There's somebody who's called Big Boss who listens to us. So maybe they are David Hayter. I don't know.
It's possible.
Rorik is probably still listening. Jesse might still be listening.
The guy from Gaming in the Clinton years still listening, mad that we stole his shtick.
Arby might still be listening.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Salvador is also still listening. Maybe Jacob, maybe Matt. Maybe Carbon. Wonder, I think, is still listening.
Right.
Marionette, I feel like they're busy lately, so they may or may not still be listening. You asked, I'm answering your question, Richie. You opened this Pandora's box. So don't give me a... Wiggle might still be listening. Who do you think is still listening?
I'm not even still listening.
What about Chocodoco? Do you think they're still listening?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Larissa Coltrane still listening, mystified as to why we dedicated an episode of a podcast to her werewolf books.
Tutu might still be listening.
The NSA agent who's tapping our conversations still listening.
Dave might still be listening.
Yeah.
Kern, maybe. I don't know. I have a feeling maybe, but also, I don't know. Tessa might still be listening. That's what I can remember. So,
are you even still there?
Me? Hello? I'm still there.
Oh, the call's over. Or is it?
What are you talking about? I'm still here.
I think Discord's frozen.
No, it's not. I hear you.
Oh, I'm back now. I can't hear you though.
It's okay. So
No, it's not okay. None of this is okay.
let me do the outro. So, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Okay, for reference, Discord froze and now Sin can hear me, but I can't hear her, so she's just gonna record the outro and I don't know what it is. Continue, Sin.
Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope this episode helps you in some shape, way, or form. Let me know if I guessed whether or not you're still listening to the podcast. Any final words, Richie?
Sin has just sent me a message saying any final words. If life is getting you low, you can always go downtown.
Jesus. A little enthusiasm, Richie? Okay. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you, Sin.